Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what truly defines a person born on April 4th? Not just the fiery sign of Aries that burns inside them, but the secret vibrations of numbers, the whispers of ancient Druids, the colors and stones that shape their energy, and the hidden shadows they must confront. Let's embark on a journey into the cosmic DNA of April 4th souls, a journey that will take us through love, marriage, sex, friendship, business, their darker edges, and their shining goals. The Aries flame, core personality. April 4th belongs to Aries, ruled by fiery Mars. These people are born trailblazers. Independent, ambitious, often impatient, and relentlessly determined, they cannot sit still while life passes them by. Their personality is sharp, magnetic, and sometimes intimidating. They embody the archetype of the warrior, but not the reckless kind. They are builders of empires, protectors of ideals, and seekers of truth. Yet behind the strength lies vulnerability. They crave love, recognition, and reassurance more than they let on. That duality, strength on the outside and tenderness within, is the heartbeat of their destiny. Now imagine this core personality stretched out like a flame that dances wildly but also provides warmth. People born on April 4th are often described as being unable to stand still, not only physically but emotionally and intellectually. Their restless energy comes from Mars, the planet of action and drive, which fuels them to constantly chase new goals, explore new territories, and push beyond boundaries that others might fear to cross. Unlike the more cautious signs, they are willing to throw themselves into the unknown with a kind of fearless excitement that can seem reckless at first, but often brings surprising success. Their independence is legendary. These are not people who wait for permission to live their lives. They carve out their own path, even if it means going against tradition, family expectations, or societal rules. There is an inner pioneer inside them, a voice that whispers, "Why follow when you can lead? Why accept the world as it is when you can remake it?" That mindset gives them a kind of heroic aura, even if they are not consciously trying to impress anyone. People are drawn to their courage, to the way they stride forward without hesitation, even when the terrain is rough. Ambition fuels every step they take. They want more than just comfort. They want achievement, recognition, and proof that their efforts have meaning. This ambition can show up in career, in creative pursuits, or even in personal relationships where they demand intensity and growth rather than stagnation. When they set their eyes on a target, nothing seems to stand in their way, not obstacles, not critics, not even their own moments of doubt. They push through with determination that inspires admiration and sometimes even fear in those around them. Impatience, however, is both their gift and their curse. On the positive side, it makes them act fast, seize opportunities before others have even noticed them, and keep momentum alive in any project they touch. On the negative side, it can make them restless, frustrated with slow processes, and quick to abandon situations that require long-term endurance. Learning patience becomes one of the great lessons of their life journey. The magnetic quality of their personality cannot be overstated. They seem to radiate energy like a flame in the dark. Others feel their presence before they even speak. It is a mix of confidence, vitality, and intensity that commands attention. They don't have to demand the spotlight. It follows them naturally, as if the universe itself recognizes their fiery essence. Yet this magnetism can also intimidate. Some people find them overwhelming, too direct, too forceful in their opinions and actions. To sensitive souls, an April 4th Aries may seem like a storm that can sweep everything away. And yet, beneath all this fire lies a soft vulnerability. These warriors of Mars often hide their need for affection, tenderness, and validation. They want to be admired not just for their strength but also for their humanity. They long for recognition, not only of their victories but of their struggles and doubts. When someone sees through their tough exterior and acknowledges their inner sensitivity, it touches them deeply. That duality, strength on the surface, tenderness underneath, is the rhythm that defines their lives. It makes them fascinating, unpredictable, and deeply human. The archetype they embody is not the reckless soldier charging blindly into battle, but the warrior who builds and protects. They are empire makers, dream shapers, defenders of those they love. They are seekers of truth, often questioning the world around them, refusing to accept lies or illusions. Their soul thrives when they feel aligned with a purpose greater than themselves, whether that is a career that changes lives, a cause that inspires others, or simply the determination to live authentically. So when you meet someone born on April 4th, remember, you are meeting a flame. It can warm you, it can illuminate your path, it can even burn if you get too close without respect. But above all, it is alive, untamed, and destined to shine in ways that ordinary souls cannot. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a thanks button right under this video, or through the donation alerts link in the description. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. Love marriage. In love, April 4th souls are passionate, intense, and loyal. They fall fast in love fiercely, often bringing sparks of adventure and unpredictability into relationships. Their partner will never feel bored, life with them is a storm of new experiences. But here's the challenge, they demand honesty and commitment, sometimes to the point of possessiveness. If betrayed, their anger can scorch like wildfire, yet if nurtured with loyalty, they become deeply devoted life partners. Marriage with an April 4th Aries is like sailing through both calm waters and thrilling storms, sometimes unpredictable, but always worth it. To understand how they love, imagine a wildfire spreading through a forest. It begins suddenly, with a spark of attraction that quickly turns into an all-consuming blaze. People born on April 4th rarely fall in love slowly. They are not the type to linger in indecision or play games. When they feel a connection, they dive in with their whole being. Their partner becomes the center of their attention, the focus of their energy, and the source of their joy. For them, love is not a pastime. It is an adventure, a challenge, a reason to live with greater intensity. Passion defines their romantic style. They express affection boldly, sometimes dramatically, and they crave reciprocation of equal depth. Their idea of love is not quiet or reserved, it is filled with fire, laughter, spontaneous gestures, and sometimes even heated arguments that only fuel the flames further. They love fiercely, protectively, and with a sense of total involvement. To be loved by them is to feel alive, to feel noticed, to feel desired in a way that few others can provide. But their intensity comes with challenges. They demand honesty, and even the smallest deception can shatter their trust. Loyalty is sacred to them. They would rather face painful truths than comforting lies. Their possessiveness can sometimes feel overwhelming, as if their love surrounds their partner like a shield that doesn't always allow enough breathing room. This stems not from insecurity but from their deep fear of betrayal. Once hurt, their anger is scorching, sharp, and unforgettable. They may forgive in time, but they rarely forget. Yet if their partner is loyal, transparent, and equally passionate, April 4th lovers become deeply devoted. They are not halfway partners. They give everything, from emotional support to physical affection to an unwavering sense of presence. Their marriage is rarely calm in the traditional sense. It is dynamic, filled with constant movement, challenges, reconciliations, and new beginnings. But that is exactly what makes it extraordinary. Their love life is not for the faint of heart, but for those who crave intensity, it is heaven. Marriage with them is a long voyage through varied waters. Sometimes the sea is calm, filled with tenderness, shared laughter, and simple joys. Other times the storms arrive, arguments, fiery disagreements, or restless impulses that shake the stability of the relationship. But each storm is followed by renewal, by forgiveness, by even stronger commitment. For them, love is not about avoiding conflict but about growing through it, learning from it, and becoming stronger as a couple. They see love as both passion and partnership. They want a companion who walks beside them through adventures, who shares their dreams, and who can stand firm when the storms arrive. If their partner matches their intensity and stands loyal through every phase, the relationship becomes not just a romance but a lifelong saga of shared victories and growth. In essence, love with an April 4th Aries is a promise. It will never be dull, never be shallow, and never fade into routine. It will challenge you, inspire you, test your strength, and reward you with a connection that feels timeless. For those brave enough to embrace it, the love of an April 4th soul is nothing short of extraordinary. Sex intimacy. Their sexuality is an extension of their fiery spirit. They are passionate lovers who see intimacy not just as physical pleasure but as an act of power, trust, and connection. They are daring, experimental, and rarely satisfied with routine. For them, sex is a language of energy exchange. They want intensity, not half-hearted gestures. To understand the sexual nature of people born on April 4th, one must first understand how much fire rules their lives. Sex, for them, is not a quiet pastime or a purely biological act. It is an eruption of their deepest emotions, their wildest passions, and their most unguarded selves. Every kiss, every touch, every encounter is charged with the same energy that drives them to conquer challenges in life. They don't separate their romantic intensity from their sexual expression. The two are seamlessly intertwined, making their intimacy unforgettable for those who share it. They see intimacy as a sacred form of connection. To them, physical union is never just about the body. It is about merging energy, about trusting someone enough to reveal their vulnerabilities while also unleashing their power. They are rarely timid, rarely cautious. Instead, they approach intimacy with confidence, curiosity, and an eagerness to explore. Their daring nature often leads them to experiment, to break routine, to keep the relationship alive with new experiences that surprise and delight their partner. For them, the bedroom is an arena of creativity, not a place of repetition. What makes them stand out is the way they use intimacy to communicate emotions they may not always verbalize. Though outspoken in life, their deepest fears and tender insecurities often remain hidden under their confident exterior. Through touch, through closeness, through passionate encounters, they reveal sides of themselves that words cannot capture. Their partner will often sense that sex with an April 4th Aries is both fire and confession. It's a way of saying, I need you, I trust you, I choose you, without speaking. Routine is their enemy. If intimacy becomes mechanical, predictable, or devoid of passion, they lose interest quickly. They need sparks, they need adventure, they need to feel that every encounter is alive and filled with discovery. This doesn't mean they constantly chase novelty outside of their relationship. Rather, they want their partner to evolve with them, to keep reinventing passion so that the flame never burns out. Their daring approach can sometimes intimidate those who prefer a slower pace or a more traditional expression of intimacy. They are bold, sometimes even overwhelming, and they expect their partner to match their intensity. They do not thrive in half-hearted or lukewarm connections. They want their partner to meet them at full force, to dive into passion without hesitation. Anything less feels unsatisfying, like a spark that never turns into a flame. Yet beyond the fire, there is a deep emotional core to their sexuality. For them, sex is not only about excitement but also about healing and reassurance. It is a place where they can drop their guard, where they can allow tenderness to mix with fire, where they can express their softer side without fear of judgment. Their ideal partner understands this balance, someone who can handle their intensity but also hold space for their vulnerability. When intimacy aligns perfectly with emotional trust, April 4th lovers become unforgettable partners. Their passion transforms into loyalty, their daring becomes devotion, and their fiery energy becomes a force that strengthens the bond rather than threatens it. With them, intimacy is not just an act, it is an adventure, a revelation, and a journey into the deepest layers of connection two people can share. Friendship. As friends, April 4th individuals are loyal to the core. They are the type who will defend you when you're absent and celebrate you when you succeed. However, their blunt honesty can sting. They do not sugarcoat truths. Some people find this refreshing, others intimidating. But if you want a friend who pushes you toward growth and never abandons you in a crisis, look no further than someone born on this date. Friendship with an April 4th soul is like having a warrior at your side. Their loyalty is fierce, unshakable, and enduring. Once they let someone into their inner circle, they stand by them through thick and thin, offering both protection and encouragement. They are the type who will fight for you when others stay silent, who will defend your reputation when you are not around, and who will celebrate your victories as if they were their own. For them, friendship is not a casual arrangement, it is a bond, a pact, a promise of mutual respect and unwavering support. But with loyalty comes honesty, and their honesty is not always gentle. April 4th people speak their minds without filters. If they think you're making a mistake, they'll tell you directly, sometimes with words sharp enough to cut. To some, this bluntness feels refreshing. There is no hidden agenda, no sugarcoating, no polite but meaningless compliments. You always know where you stand with them. To others, however, their straightforwardness can feel intimidating, even hurtful. But make no mistake, their honesty comes from care. They don't waste energy correcting people they don't value. Their truth-telling is proof that they are invested in your growth. As friends, they are also incredibly inspiring. Their restless energy pushes not only themselves but also those around them to aim higher, to dream bigger, and to keep moving forward. Being around them often feels like being caught in a whirlwind of ideas, plans, and adventures. They invite you into their world of ambition and passion, making you believe that anything is possible. In their presence, life feels larger, more exciting, and filled with potential. Yet their friendships are not without challenges. Their intensity means they can sometimes overwhelm more passive or introverted friends. They may grow impatient with people who hesitate too much, who avoid risk, or who shy away from confrontation. Their fiery nature can clash with softer temperaments, and their high standards of loyalty may feel demanding. But for those who can keep up with their pace and embrace their directness, the reward is a friendship that lasts a lifetime. When crises strike, their true colors shine brightest. They do not abandon friends in need. Instead, they step forward with courage, offering not only emotional support but also practical help. Whether it's standing up for you in public, helping you solve a problem, or simply staying by your side when others disappear, they prove their loyalty in actions, not just words. At the heart of it, their friendship is about growth. They want their friends to succeed, to evolve, to rise to their potential. They will push you, challenge you, and sometimes frustrate you with their relentless energy, but you will always know that their motivation comes from love and belief in your abilities. Few friendships are as demanding, but few are as rewarding. To have an April 4th friend is to have a mirror that reflects both your strengths and your flaws, a companion who pushes you to be braver, and a defender who will never let you fight your battles alone. Their presence is fiery, sometimes overwhelming, but always unforgettable, and in the end, you'll find that life with them as a friend is richer, bolder, and infinitely more alive. Business career. In business, their entrepreneurial spirit shines. These individuals hate being confined to someone else's rules. They are leaders, not followers. Their natural instinct for risk-taking, paired with resilience, often leads them to success in careers involving leadership, innovation, sports, or even the arts. They thrive in high-pressure environments and love competition. However, their impatience and tendency to rush decisions can sometimes cause setbacks. Learning patience is the secret key to their ultimate success. To understand how April 4th individuals approach business and career, picture a restless stallion inside a narrow pen. It doesn't take long before it breaks free. These people cannot bear the thought of being boxed into routines, endless bureaucracies, or rigid structures where creativity is strangled. Rules, when imposed by others, feel suffocating to them. They respect systems only when they themselves are the architects of those systems. That is why so many April 4th Aries feel drawn to entrepreneurship, to management, to leadership roles where they can shape the environment around them instead of merely surviving inside it. Their instinct for leadership is rarely taught, it is natural, almost primal. Even as children, many of them display signs of wanting to take charge, organizing games, setting challenges, or inspiring others to follow their ideas. In adulthood, this translates into careers where initiative is not just valued but required. They thrive in places where energy, boldness, and originality are rewarded. Whether leading a business, managing a creative project, coaching a team, or even performing in the arts, they instinctively know how to rally people and inspire momentum. Risk-taking is at the core of their professional identity. Unlike more cautious personalities who calculate every possible outcome before making a move, April 4th individuals act quickly and decisively. This often allows them to seize opportunities that others overlook. They are not reckless, despite appearances. Instead, their instincts are sharp, honed by their natural ability to read situations and adapt. However, their impatience can sometimes lead to mistakes. They may jump before fully preparing, or abandon one project too soon in search of the next thrilling challenge. For them, learning patience is like learning a foreign language, difficult, unnatural, but ultimately life-changing. In competitive environments, they come alive. They are fueled by the thrill of rivalry, by the chance to prove themselves against worthy opponents. In sports, this makes them fierce competitors who will push themselves to the limit. In business, this competitive drive translates into relentless ambition to outperform rivals, to innovate faster, to reach new markets before anyone else. They see competition not as a threat but as a challenge that sharpens their edge. But there is another layer. Their careers are often tied to their sense of identity. Unlike some people who can separate work from self-worth, April 4th souls merge the two. Success at work feels like validation of who they are. Failure, though temporary, can hit them deeply, sparking frustration, self-doubt, or bursts of temper. The lesson for them is to remember that setbacks are not the end of the story but stepping stones on the path to mastery. Their resilience, their ability to rise again after failure, is one of their greatest strengths, and it ensures that even after mistakes, they find new ways to succeed. Their natural talent also draws them into careers that demand creativity and innovation. Many April 4th people feel suffocated in repetitive jobs. They need movement, fresh challenges, and opportunities to invent. This is why you often find them excelling as entrepreneurs, artists, performers, athletes, or pioneers in technology. They bring not just energy but vision, and they are often the first to see possibilities where others see obstacles. Still, their impatience is their Achilles heel. When they rush, they may overlook details, underestimate challenges, or make choices based on impulse rather than strategy. Yet this weakness is also what drives them to grow. As they mature, they learn that leadership is not just about speed but about timing, not just about fire but about control. Once they balance their bold instincts with patience and wisdom, they become unstoppable leaders, capable of building empires that last. In the end, their career path is rarely smooth or linear. It is a journey filled with daring leaps, bold ventures, occasional stumbles, and remarkable comebacks. But one thing is certain: people born on April 4th are not destined to live in the shadows of others. Their business and career stories are about forging their own paths, leaving behind systems that no longer serve them, and creating opportunities where none existed before. They are proof that leadership is not granted, it is embodied, lived, and burned into every decision they make. Dark sides. Every flame casts a shadow. For April 4th Aries, the shadow is stubbornness, impulsiveness, and a tendency toward arrogance. Their fire, if uncontrolled, can burn relationships and careers alike. They sometimes speak before they think, and their quick temper can cause unnecessary conflicts. Yet, once they learn to control the flame, they transform into powerful figures who inspire rather than intimidate. The darker side of April 4th people is not hidden in subtle, quiet flaws, it roars as loudly as their strengths. Their stubbornness, for example, is legendary. When they believe they are right, no amount of reasoning, persuasion, or evidence can sway them. They dig in their heels, convinced of their perspective, even when compromise might lead to better outcomes. This stubborn streak can make them appear inflexible, domineering, or even blind to other people's feelings. It is the iron within their fire, the rigidity that prevents them from bending when bending might save them. Impulsiveness is another challenge. Their Mars-driven energy makes them act quickly, sometimes before they fully understand the consequences. This can manifest as hasty decisions in business, fiery outbursts in relationships, or reckless leaps into projects they later abandon. While their daring often leads to exciting opportunities, their lack of restraint can also create chaos. Friends, colleagues, and partners may find themselves struggling to keep up with the speed of their changes, left disoriented by the rapid shifts of direction that characterize an April 4th Aries. Arrogance can creep in as a byproduct of their natural confidence. Their magnetic presence and ability to lead often earn them admiration, and with admiration comes the temptation to believe they are always right. At their worst, they may dismiss others' opinions, underestimate their rivals, or project superiority in ways that alienate people. Their arrogance is rarely rooted in malice. It stems from their fiery certainty, from their conviction that their instincts are sharper than the average person's. But unchecked, it can drive away allies and create unnecessary enemies. Their quick temper is perhaps the most noticeable shadow. They react fast, and when provoked, their words can cut like blades. Arguments with them are rarely soft. They are fiery, direct, and intense. They may regret their words later, but in the heat of the moment, their anger is a force of nature. Loved ones may sometimes feel scorched by their temper, and colleagues may feel intimidated rather than inspired. Learning to pause, to breathe, to temper fire with patience, is one of the greatest challenges of their lives. Yet the beauty of their shadow lies in its potential for transformation. Just as a wildfire can destroy or renew, their darker traits can become sources of strength once mastered. Stubbornness, when refined, becomes determination. Impulsiveness, when balanced, becomes bold intuition. Arrogance, when softened, transforms into confidence that uplifts rather than diminishes others. Even their temper, when channeled, becomes passion that fuels their work and inspires their communities. They are not meant to extinguish their shadows but to harness them. The April 4th Aries must learn that true power lies not in constant fire but in controlled flame. Once they master the art of balance, knowing when to fight and when to yield, when to speak and when to listen, they evolve into figures of great influence. Instead of intimidating, they begin to inspire. Instead of burning bridges, they build them. In their journey from raw fire to refined flame lies their destiny, to become not only warriors but also wise leaders, not only fierce lovers but also compassionate souls. Their dark sides remind us that greatness is never without struggle, and that even the brightest flames must learn to live with their shadows. Life goals. Their ultimate life mission is to create, lead, and leave a legacy. April 4th people are not content with small victories, they dream big. Whether building a company, writing a book, or raising a strong family, their goal is to leave behind something meaningful that survives beyond their lifetime. For someone born on April 4th, life is never about simply existing or going through the motions. It is about carving something extraordinary into the world, something that whispers their name even when they are no longer here. They wake each morning with a restlessness that pushes them beyond comfort zones, urging them to seek more than security, more than temporary pleasure. Their soul calls them toward creation, leadership, and the kind of impact that does not fade with time. It is not enough for them to live quietly. They are driven by an inner flame to leave behind a mark that proves their journey mattered. Their goals often appear larger than life. Where others may set modest intentions, they envision empires, revolutions, and legacies. To them, success is not measured only in wealth or recognition, though those things may come naturally. Success is measured by the endurance of what they build. A company that employs people and outlives them, a book that continues to inspire generations after it is written, or a family that carries their values into the future, these are the legacies that call to their soul. But these goals are not achieved without trials. April 4th individuals often face moments of doubt, moments where their dreams feel too vast or the obstacles too heavy. Yet even in those times, their fiery Aries nature refuses surrender. They may stumble, fall, or fail spectacularly, but failure never kills their dream, it only reshapes it. With resilience as their constant companion, they rise again, often stronger, more determined, and more focused than before. One of the most defining aspects of their life mission is leadership. Whether they are aware of it or not, people look to them for direction. Their confidence, passion, and clarity of vision naturally draw followers. And though leadership can sometimes feel like a burden, April 4th souls often thrive in it. They may resist at first, claiming they prefer independence, but the truth is they are at their best when guiding others. Leadership allows them to channel their energy into movements larger than themselves, multiplying their impact. The idea of legacy is deeply personal to them. It is not about fame alone, nor about leaving behind physical possessions. Their legacy is about energy, influence, and transformation. They want to know that something in the world is different because they lived. It could be a piece of art that changes how people see beauty, a business that redefines industry standards, a philosophy that challenges society, or simply a family that embodies love, courage, and resilience. What matters is endurance, that their name and their essence are carried forward by the ripples of their actions. Patience, however, is often their greatest obstacle on this path. Their dreams are vast, but the world does not always move at their pace. They want results quickly, impact immediately, transformation overnight. Learning to pace themselves, to build steadily rather than burning out in pursuit of quick wins, is essential. When they master this, they become architects of change whose influence stretches across time. Ultimately, the life goals of April 4th individuals are not selfish, they are inherently connected to the collective. They seek to lead, not just for their own gain, but to inspire others, to create opportunities, and to ignite courage in those who doubt themselves. Their life is a story of fire turned into form, of dreams transformed into reality, and of fleeting moments sculpted into legacies that outlast centuries. Zodiac compatibility. Best matches: Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Aquarius. These signs match their energy, passion, and adventurous spirit. Challenging matches: Cancer and Capricorn, who may struggle with their impulsiveness. Intriguing but unstable: Scorpio, because of the intense attraction but equally intense clashes. Compatibility for an April 4th Aries is not simply about who makes them laugh or who understands their words, it is about who can stand the heat of their fire and still choose to stay close. Their relationships are not lightweight experiences, they are intense, passionate, and sometimes demanding. To truly love them is to match their speed, their courage, and their desire for constant movement. That is why Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Aquarius often feel like kindred spirits. With these signs, their energy finds harmony rather than resistance, and the relationship feels like two flames burning brighter together. With Leo, the connection is electric, almost regal. Both signs are strong-willed, passionate, and confident. Their relationship is filled with admiration, mutual respect, and fiery chemistry. They challenge each other to grow, and though clashes of ego may occur, the fire between them rarely dims. Together, they form a partnership that commands attention and inspires others. Sagittarius, on the other hand, offers freedom and adventure. Where Aries brings raw passion, Sagittarius brings vision and wanderlust. Together, they thrive in exploration, whether traveling the world, dreaming of new ventures, or diving into philosophical debates. Their bond is built on shared excitement and a refusal to be trapped by routine. With Sagittarius, April 4th individuals find not only a lover but a partner in endless discovery. Gemini adds air to Aries' fire, fanning the flame into brilliance. Gemini's wit, playfulness, and curiosity intrigue the passionate Aries, keeping the relationship light and dynamic. While Aries provides determination and intensity, Gemini offers flexibility and humor, creating a balance that prevents the fire from becoming overwhelming. Together, they spark ideas, laughter, and a love life that feels like constant renewal. Aquarius offers something different: vision and individuality. Aries is captivated by Aquarius' originality and independent spirit. Where others may be intimidated by Aries' boldness, Aquarius admires it, even challenges it. This relationship thrives on mutual respect for freedom, and though both can be stubborn, their shared sense of purpose often keeps them aligned. With Aquarius, April 4th souls discover that passion can be both fiery and intellectual, both thrilling and enduring. But not all matches are easy. Cancer, with its deep sensitivity and emotional needs, often struggles with the impulsiveness of Aries. Where Cancer seeks safety and nurturing, Aries craves action and independence. This mismatch can cause misunderstandings, with Aries appearing too harsh and Cancer feeling too fragile. The bond can work, but only if Aries learns patience and Cancer learns resilience. Capricorn presents another challenge. Where Aries leaps boldly, Capricorn plans cautiously. Aries thrives on immediate action, while Capricorn prefers steady, strategic steps. Their values often clash, one driven by impulse, the other by discipline. Yet if they manage to respect their differences, they can learn balance, Capricorn grounding Aries' fire, and Aries reigniting Capricorn's ambition. Still, this union requires immense effort and compromise. Scorpio is perhaps the most intriguing match of all. The attraction between Aries and Scorpio is undeniable, magnetic, almost fated. Both are ruled by powerful planets, Mars for Aries, Pluto and traditionally Mars for Scorpio, creating a bond of intensity unlike any other. The passion is volcanic, the intimacy explosive. But with such fire and depth also comes conflict. Their egos clash, their tempers ignite, and power struggles can tear them apart. For some, the relationship becomes a cycle of passion and destruction. For others, it becomes a lifelong love forged in the fire of transformation. For April 4th individuals, compatibility is not about finding someone who makes life easy. It is about finding someone who makes life alive. They crave partners who embrace intensity, who see conflict not as the end but as a step toward deeper connection, and who share their hunger for growth. When they find such a partner, whether among the zodiac signs listed or beyond, the relationship becomes more than romance. It becomes a shared journey of passion, power, and legacy. Numerology, the power of 4. Being born on the 4th gives them the number 4 vibration, discipline, order, structure, and stability. This is fascinating because Aries' energy is wild and impulsive, while the number 4 demands organization and responsibility. The result? These people live with a constant push-pull between chaos and structure. If they master this balance, they become unstoppable forces capable of building real empires. The number 4 in numerology carries with it an ancient weight, a sense of foundation and permanence. It is the number of the square, of the 4 directions, of the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water. It represents the corners of a house, the roots of a tree, the bedrock upon which everything else is built. To be born under this vibration is to be bound, in some way, to the principles of order, discipline, and stability. It is to be challenged constantly to create structure in life, to build things that last, to turn chaos into something enduring. And yet, when this number meets the fiery energy of Aries, something unusual happens. Aries is not a sign of stability. It is a sign of beginnings, of sparks, of action that bursts forward before plans are fully laid. It is the restless child of the zodiac, the warrior always moving toward the next challenge, the pioneer who cannot stand still. So when a person is born on April 4th, they are caught between 2 archetypes: the warrior who charges forward without hesitation, and the builder who wants to create foundations that will last beyond their lifetime. This inner tension is what makes their personality so complex and, ultimately, so powerful. Many April 4th people describe their lives as a series of battles between these 2 forces. On one hand, they crave adventure, spontaneity, and the freedom to act on impulse. On the other hand, they feel an almost inescapable pull toward stability, responsibility, and the need to build something tangible. This can make them restless at times, as though part of them wants to burn down the house just as the other part is trying to construct it. But when they learn to balance these forces, when the fire of Aries is harnessed by the discipline of 4, they become unstoppable, capable of creating empires that are both bold and enduring. The number 4 also makes them natural problem solvers. It grounds them, pulls them back to reality when their fiery imagination threatens to carry them too far away. They are able to see what needs to be done, step by step, to transform visions into reality. While many Aries-born individuals struggle to finish what they start, those born on the 4th often carry an unusual ability to follow through, to bring projects to completion, to manifest ideas into concrete results. The foundation-building energy of 4 tempers the impulsiveness of Aries, creating a personality that is still daring but far more reliable. At times, however, the number 4 can feel heavy to them. Its demand for discipline and order can clash with their natural impatience. They may feel frustrated by rules, by systems, by the slow process of building stability. They might rebel against responsibility, only to feel pulled back by the unavoidable truth that they cannot escape the vibration of their birth number. It is as if their soul constantly reminds them, "You are here to build. You are here to endure. You are here not just to start fires but to construct temples from the ashes." In relationships and careers, the vibration of 4 pushes them toward roles of responsibility. They often feel compelled to take charge, to create order out of chaos, to be the one who others rely on when the storm arrives. This can be exhausting, as they sometimes feel burdened by responsibility, yet it also gives them immense satisfaction when they realize that their efforts provide security not only for themselves but for others. The great irony of their numerological destiny is that their Aries fire ensures they will never be content with a life of quiet routines, while their number 4 destiny ensures they cannot avoid the call to stability. Together, this creates a life of dynamic growth, a story of building and rebuilding, of tearing down walls only to construct stronger ones, of constant reinvention grounded in discipline. When they finally master the balance, they embody the archetype of the empire builder. They have the passion to ignite revolutions and the structure to make them last. They have the daring to leap into the unknown and the discipline to build a bridge behind them so others can follow. Their legacy is not just of fire but of stone, not just of action but of permanence. The power of 4 turns their Aries energy from a fleeting spark into an eternal flame, one that lights the way for generations to come. The Druid Horoscope. According to the Druid tree horoscope, April 4th often falls under the maple tree or hazel tree depending on the cycle. These trees symbolize independence, creativity, and originality. Much like Aries, these trees represent individuals who resist conformity, constantly searching for new ways of self-expression. The Druidic tree horoscope is rooted in the ancient wisdom of Celtic tradition, where trees were seen not merely as plants but as sacred beings with spirits, personalities, and destinies of their own. To be born under the sign of a tree is to inherit its qualities, to carry its energy within one's own life. For those born on April 4th, the trees most often associated with them are the maple and the hazel, both powerful symbols of individuality, creativity, and resistance to conformity. The maple tree represents those who stand apart from the crowd, who refuse to simply blend into the forest. Just as the maple turns brilliant shades of red and gold in autumn, standing out with undeniable beauty, April 4th individuals radiate a presence that demands to be noticed. They are not content to follow trends or obey expectations. They carve their own path, often surprising those who think they can predict their behavior. Like the maple, they thrive when they are free to express their unique colors, their originality, and their independence. The hazel tree, on the other hand, carries a slightly different symbolism. In Celtic lore, the hazel was the tree of wisdom, intuition, and inspiration. Hazelnuts were considered sacred, containing hidden knowledge and magical insight. To be born under the hazel tree means to carry within oneself a restless curiosity, a constant hunger to learn, to explore, to dig beneath the surface of life for deeper truths. This aligns beautifully with Aries energy, which is always seeking new experiences, always moving forward in search of growth. April 4th people often embody this blend, the maple's bold individuality and the hazel's thirst for wisdom. Together, these trees suggest a person who is fiercely independent, creative, and original, qualities that are amplified by their Aries fire. They resist conformity not out of rebellion alone, but because their soul demands authenticity. They cannot thrive in environments where they must suppress their originality. Just as a maple tree cannot change its leaves to look like an oak, April 4th souls cannot pretend to be something they are not. They are happiest when they are free to express their true nature, whether through art, leadership, innovation, or personal style. This connection to the Druidic trees also emphasizes their role as guides and innovators in society. The hazel's wisdom pushes them to seek knowledge and share it with others, while the maple's brilliance pushes them to inspire through creativity and individuality. They are not meant to be silent observers in life, they are meant to be vibrant participants, to stand out, to challenge, to provoke thought and change. Yet with this gift comes responsibility. Just as the hazel carries sacred wisdom that must be used carefully, so too must April 4th individuals learn to wield their originality with awareness. Their independence can sometimes make them seem detached, aloof, or overly focused on their own path. The lesson of the trees is to remember the forest, to balance individuality with connection, originality with community, independence with cooperation. Ultimately, the Druid horoscope affirms what the stars and numbers also reveal. April 4th people are destined to resist conformity, to express themselves boldly, and to create new paths where none existed before. The maple tree tells them to shine brightly, to embrace their uniqueness, to never hide their colors. The hazel tree reminds them to seek wisdom, to look deeper, to use their creativity not only for self-expression but for the greater good. In this fusion of fire and forest, they find their true strength, a life lived with authenticity, passion, and originality, rooted in ancient wisdom yet blazing with modern fire. The Vedic horoscope. In Vedic astrology, April 4th falls under Mesha Rashi Aries with Mars as the ruling planet. Vedic teachings emphasize dharma, or life purpose, and for these natives, the dharma is to act as pioneers, warriors of justice, and innovators. Their karmic lesson? To learn patience, humility, and the power of cooperation. Vedic astrology, known as Jyotish or the science of light, does not simply describe personality traits, it maps the soul's journey across lifetimes. For those born on April 4th, their chart begins in the fiery domain of Mesha Rashi, the first sign of the Zodiac, ruled by the red warrior planet Mars. This placement alone tells a story of beginnings, of battles, of courage that surges like a river after the rains. These individuals are born with the instinct to leap, to lead, and to carve out a path where none has existed before. Their dharma, their sacred duty, is not a gentle one, it is one of action, risk, and transformation. In the Vedic view, Mesha Rashi natives are pioneers. They are not meant to walk behind anyone, nor to quietly accept rules that do not align with truth. They are destined to test boundaries, to challenge authority, and to ignite movements. Their very birth on the 4th day of April, under the Mars vibration, aligns them with the archetype of the warrior, not necessarily a warrior with weapons, but one who fights with ideas, creativity, and unyielding determination. They often feel as though life pushes them to be the first to stand up when others remain silent, the first to step forward into danger, the first to declare independence from suffocating systems. Yet, this gift of boldness comes with karmic lessons. The Vedic path reminds us that every strength hides a shadow, and every warrior must learn restraint. For April 4th natives, the shadow lies in impulsiveness, pride, and an eagerness to act without considering consequences. Mars gives them incredible energy, but unchecked, it can burn them out or lead them into unnecessary conflicts. Thus, their karmic task in this lifetime is to master the art of patience, to learn that not every battle must be fought, not every enemy engaged, not every fire fueled. Patience does not weaken them, it makes them invincible, for when their courage is joined with wisdom, their power becomes unmatched. Humility, too, is a lesson written into their stars. Mesha Rashi natives often shine so brightly that they forget the collective. They rush ahead, driven by destiny, but risk leaving others behind. The cosmos challenges them to remember that true leadership is not about conquering alone, but about lifting others, sharing victories, and guiding with compassion. When they embrace humility, they stop being merely warriors, they become leaders of justice, innovators who inspire rather than intimidate. Cooperation is the final karmic lesson of their path. April 4th souls often believe they must do everything alone, that dependence weakens their spirit. But the Vedic teachings remind them that dharma is never fulfilled in isolation. Their fire ignites movements, yes, but movements require followers, allies, and communities. Cooperation allows their vision to expand beyond their own strength. When they learn to work in harmony with others, their pioneering spirit does not diminish, it multiplies, spreading across countless lives. In the deeper layers of the Vedic system, April 4th individuals often carry karmic debts from past lives of battle. Perhaps they were warriors who fought bravely but without compassion, or leaders who claimed power without serving the greater good. In this life, they are called to refine their warrior energy, to become protectors of Dharma rather than conquerors for ego. Their chart pushes them to fight not for personal gain, but for justice, innovation, and truth. When they rise to this calling, their destiny is luminous. They become pioneers of thought, warriors of justice, architects of change. Their fire is no longer destructive but transformative. Their Mars energy becomes the engine of progress, fueling them to bring forth ideas and creations that serve humanity. This is the Vedic promise of April 4th, that their flame, tempered by patience, humility, and cooperation, will burn not just for themselves, but for the world. The flower horoscope. The flower linked to early April Aries is the honeysuckle, a symbol of sweetness and attraction. Just like this flower, April 4th people draw others in with their charm and magnetic energy. Their presence is intoxicating, and they have a natural ability to make others feel alive. The flower horoscope reveals the soul's fragrance, the unseen energy one gives off, the subtle magnetism that draws others closer without explanation. For those born on April 4th, that flower is the honeysuckle, a bloom that thrives in spring and announces itself with sweetness so powerful it lingers in the air. The honeysuckle is not just a symbol of beauty, it is a symbol of irresistible charm, of vitality, of connections that feel fated. And so, those born on this day carry within them an aura that is as enchanting and intoxicating as the flower itself. April 4th individuals, like honeysuckle, attract without trying. Their energy radiates warmth, enthusiasm, and excitement for life. People feel lighter around them, as though simply being near them awakens a forgotten joy. They have a way of making others feel alive, desired, and appreciated, even when they are not consciously trying to impress. This natural magnetism can feel almost magical, drawing lovers, friends, and opportunities to them as though the universe itself bends toward their flame. Yet the honeysuckle also speaks to deeper symbolism. Its vines climb, twist, and reach for sunlight, much like the restless Aries spirit constantly stretching toward new experiences. April 4th souls are rarely content to remain still. They are always growing, always moving, always seeking something beyond their immediate grasp. Just as honeysuckle transforms its surroundings with fragrance and beauty, so too do these individuals transform environments simply by being present. They bring vibrancy where there was dullness, laughter where there was silence, passion where there was indifference. The honeysuckle's sweetness is not only external, it symbolizes the inner tenderness of April 4th people. For all their boldness and intensity, they possess a soft heart that craves connection, love, and intimacy. The flower reminds us that beneath the fire of Aries lies a need to be nurtured and to nurture others. These individuals may appear strong and independent, but they long for relationships where they can share their tenderness without fear of rejection. However, the intoxicating nature of honeysuckle carries a warning. Its sweetness can become overwhelming, even addictive. April 4th individuals must be mindful of how their magnetism affects others. People may become overly attached to them, drawn in by their energy but unprepared for the intensity of their fire. At times, their charm can create illusions. Others may fall in love with the aura rather than the reality. This can lead to misunderstandings, heartbreaks, or unbalanced relationships where admiration replaces genuine connection. Still, the honeysuckle's essence is ultimately one of joy and attraction. It teaches April 4th souls to embrace their natural gifts without fear, to recognize that their presence is a blessing to others. They are not meant to hide their charm or dampen their energy. They are meant to share it, to light up rooms, to awaken spirits, to remind others of life's sweetness. In the flower horoscope, honeysuckle is also a symbol of bonds, connections that feel timeless, love that feels destined, friendships that seem to pick up where they left off after years apart. April 4th people often experience these kinds of fated connections. They meet someone, and within minutes it feels as though they have known them forever. The honeysuckle reminds them that such connections are part of their destiny, gifts from the universe meant to guide them toward their soul's purpose. Ultimately, the flower horoscope reveals that April 4th individuals are living embodiments of the honeysuckle, vibrant, alluring, and unforgettable. They are meant to remind the world of sweetness, of passion, of the intoxicating beauty of life. Their path is not only to shine but to awaken others, to leave behind an invisible trail of joy and vitality wherever they go, just as the honeysuckle leaves its fragrance lingering long after the bloom has passed. The stone horoscope. Their stones are diamond and bloodstone. The diamond represents clarity, purity, and unbreakable strength, while bloodstone represents courage and vitality. Together, these stones reflect the dual nature of April 4th souls, unshakable determination paired with raw, fiery energy. The stone horoscope speaks to the soul's resonance with the earth, the hidden minerals and crystals that mirror our inner energy. For those born on April 4th, two stones stand above all others, diamond and bloodstone. Each stone tells a story, not only about the qualities of the person who carries it but about the lessons and challenges they must face throughout life. Together, they create a portrait of a being both radiant and raw, refined and primal, indestructible yet alive with fire. The diamond is the first of their stones, and perhaps the most fitting. Known throughout history as the unbreakable one, the diamond embodies clarity, purity, and strength that cannot be shattered. For April 4th souls, the diamond mirrors their resilience, their refusal to give up no matter the obstacle. Just as a diamond forms under immense pressure deep within the earth, so too do these individuals thrive under challenges that would break others. Life tests them, squeezes them, forces them into corners, and yet, out of those trials emerges brilliance. Their inner light, like the facets of a diamond, shines more brightly because of the difficulties they endure. The clarity of the diamond also reflects their vision. April 4th individuals are not meant to stumble blindly through life. They carry within them an ability to see what others overlook, to cut through confusion, to find truth amidst noise. This clarity is both a blessing and a burden, for it means they cannot easily lie to themselves. They know when something is false, when a relationship lacks authenticity, when a job is draining their soul. The diamond within them demands honesty, first with themselves, then with the world. Yet the diamond, for all its brilliance, is also cold. It is flawless, but it lacks warmth. And this is why April 4th souls are also tied to bloodstone, the stone of courage and vitality. Bloodstone is earthy, raw, and pulsating with life. Where the diamond represents perfection, bloodstone represents the fire of survival, the primal strength to fight and endure. Its deep green surface flecked with red symbolizes resilience, the ability to heal, to rise from wounds, to turn pain into power. For April 4th people, this stone speaks to the raw energy they carry, the unrefined passion that drives them to act, to love, to conquer challenges. Together, these stones tell the full story of their duality. The diamond is the perfected self, disciplined, unbreakable, focused, pure. The bloodstone is the primal self, fiery, passionate, courageous, untamed. April 4th individuals carry both within them, and their life journey is about uniting these two energies. When they live only in the diamond, they risk becoming cold, detached, and overly focused on perfection. When they live only in the bloodstone, they risk burning out, consumed by passion without direction. But when they learn to balance the two, clarity with courage, purity with passion, they become extraordinary, capable of both great creation and deep human connection. Historically, both stones have been tied to warriors and leaders. Diamonds were believed to make warriors invincible, while bloodstone was carried by ancient soldiers to give courage and stop bleeding in battle. This symbolism is no accident. April 4th people are modern warriors, not necessarily on battlefields but in the struggles of everyday life, fighting for justice, pushing through adversity, leading others into new horizons. Their stones reflect this destiny, one giving them unbreakable strength, the other giving them the vitality to keep moving even when weary. To wear or meditate with these stones amplifies their natural gifts. The diamond enhances their clarity of mind, reminding them of their resilience when they feel fragile. The bloodstone grounds them, reconnects them to the raw pulse of life, and fuels them with courage when fear threatens to take hold. Both stones are guardians, companions, and mirrors of their destiny. Ultimately, the stone horoscope reveals that April 4th souls are both diamond and bloodstone, indestructible yet alive, clear yet passionate, refined yet raw. Their journey is to honor both sides, to polish the diamond without losing the vitality of the bloodstone, to carry within them both the light of perfection and the fire of courage. In this union, they become their truest selves, shining, unshakable, and unforgettable. The big picture. So who is the April 4th soul, really? They are fiery yet grounded, passionate yet disciplined, leaders with a tender core, fighters with a need for love. They are the bridge between chaos and order, destined to create legacies that endure. Their journey is not always easy, but it is always extraordinary. And those who share their lives with them, whether as lovers, friends, or partners, will never forget the experience. The story of an April 4th soul is not one of simplicity. It is a tale of paradox, of opposites colliding into something rare and unforgettable. At their core, they are Aries, fiery, restless, bold. Yet layered upon that fire are the stabilizing vibrations of the number 4, the grounding wisdom of the Druids, the spiritual lessons of Vedic astrology, and the fragrant charm of the honeysuckle. They are a mosaic of contradictions that somehow fit together perfectly. To understand them fully is to accept that they cannot be contained by one definition, one role, or one path. They are fiery yet grounded. Their Mars-driven energy pushes them into action, into daring leaps and fearless risks. But the number 4 anchors them, pulling them back to structure, to discipline, to the building of legacies that endure. This means they are rarely content with reckless adventures that leave nothing behind. Their fire is always tempered by an underlying desire to create something lasting. They are sparks that ignite, yes, but they also build the hearth where the fire can continue to burn for generations. They are passionate yet disciplined. Their relationships are intense, their ambitions relentless, their creativity boundless. Yet the order of 4 and the clarity of diamond remind them that passion without focus is wasted energy. They learn, over time, to discipline their fire, to channel their passion into purpose, to turn dreams into plans and plans into reality. This discipline does not weaken their intensity, it strengthens it, making them capable of extraordinary achievements. They are leaders with a tender core. On the outside, they appear strong, fearless, even intimidating. People look to them for direction, for courage, for vision. But beneath that armor lies a heart that craves love, recognition, and reassurance. They long for intimacy, for connection, for the quiet moments where they can let go of their strength and simply be vulnerable. This duality makes them both formidable and deeply human, a combination that draws others close even when they try to hide their tenderness. They are fighters with a need for love. Life often casts them into battles, against circumstances, against systems, sometimes even against themselves. They rise to these challenges with fiery determination, rarely backing down. But victory alone is never enough. They need love as much as they need conquest. Their victories feel hollow without someone to share them with, their battles incomplete without a companion who understands their heart. Love gives them balance, grounding their fire in the sweetness of connection. In truth, they are the bridge between chaos and order. Their Aries nature thrives in chaos, in action, in risk, in spontaneity. Yet their numerological and symbolic alignments push them toward order, toward creating systems, structures, and legacies. They live in the tension between these forces, and their greatness lies in uniting them. They are the spark that begins the fire, and the architect who ensures the fire never dies. Their journey is not always easy. They face inner battles between impulse and patience, between pride and humility, between independence and cooperation. They stumble, they clash, they burn too brightly at times. Yet every challenge shapes them, every fall polishes them like the diamond, every wound deepens their courage like the bloodstone. Their life is extraordinary not because it is smooth, but because it is full of transformation, of resilience, of moments where they rise stronger than before. And those who share their lives with them, whether as lovers, friends, or partners, are forever changed. To know an April 4th soul is to be swept into a storm of passion, adventure, honesty, and growth. It is to be challenged and inspired, to be loved with intensity and protected with ferocity. Even if paths diverge, their presence lingers, unforgettable, like the scent of honeysuckle or the brilliance of a diamond. They are not ordinary companions, they are experiences, catalysts, forces of nature. The big picture of April 4th souls is this: they are here not just to live, but to leave behind something that lasts. They are here to remind the world that fire can build as well as destroy, that strength can hide tenderness, that chaos can give birth to order. They are pioneers, creators, warriors, lovers, teachers, leaders, and dreamers, all in one. Their legacy is not just in what they do, but in how they make others feel, in the courage they inspire, and in the fire they leave burning in every heart they touch. If this deep dive into April 4th inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more cosmic explorations, and check out the links in the description for even more content. Your journey into the stars has only just begun.